So, welcome everybody to the 15th annual house concert student recital of Court Street Music here in Valley Street. Today happens to be the holiday of Pentecost, which is descended from the Jewish holiday of Shavuos, or Shavuot. And we're very pleased to have the pastor at the church where I work in Rosedale, Pastor Jack Whritenour, here. He's going to be playing a piece with me, but before he does that, long before he does that, I asked him to say a few words about the significance of Pentecost. And you'll notice that many of us are wearing red, except for him, right? 35 years ago, I wrote incidental music, an overture and incidental music, to a reading of a novella by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe called REINEKE FUCHS, Reynard the Fox. And the story takes place on the German holiday of Pfingsten, which is Pentecost. And so I used a well-known, not a Pentecostal theme, you don't say that.
A Pentecostal hymn.
A hymn from
Pentecost hymn.
A Pentecost hymn, right. I used a Pentecost hymn in the piece, which you'll be hearing. It'll be the first piece that I play. And in fact, we sang that hymn this morning, or a version of it, a Luther version. So tell us about the significance of the holiday.
Well, it's of course originates with Judaism, and it's the first harvest festival. It takes place roughly 50 days after Passover.
So Pentecost is Greek for 50 days.
And Pentecost is Greek for 50 days, right? And so it was a time when the Jewish people, even from not only from the Holy Land, but also in the diaspora, would take a tenth of their harvest, and they would bring it to Jerusalem and would offer it in the temple as a thank offering to God for a bountiful harvest. And then in the Christian tradition, it's the day when Christ, after he ascended into heaven, sent the Holy Spirit upon the disciples so that they could go out into the world. And the reason why we use red is because the Holy Spirit manifested himself as tongues of fire. And so they were equipped then to go out into the world and proclaim the good news. And so it's interesting because, of course, nothing in Christianity really is new. It all has in Judaism, its roots in Judaism. So it being a harvest festival, then it was also a day in the Christian church when a harvest of souls took place, when people started to join the Christian church. So it's considered the birthday of the church in the Christian tradition. But it, like I said, has its roots in the harvest festival of Judaism.
And Shavuos, Shiva is 7 in Hebrew, and yes. Shavuos is the 7s, meaning 7 weeks. So it's 49 days, or Pentecost is pretty close, 50. And isn't that the story? This Dan Hyman, by the way, who was a cantor in Kiev, as I recall, right?
That's correct.
So and as well as a vocalist with us, and the 49 days, the weeks represented the time between, I think we were saying, between the Exodus and the presentation of the Ten Commandments on Mount Sinai, because Shavuos is not the presentation of the Torah, that's simplest Torah, but the presentation of the Ten Commandments on Sinai is Shavuos. So just as the birth of the Christian church is Pentecost, the birth of the Hebrew people with the Ten Commandments, in a sense, is also commemorated. So anyway, this is all incidental to the story of REINEKE FUCHS. The fox is constantly affirming his faithfulness and his fidelity and his piety, and then doing the most dastardly things to his fellow creatures, and as we can see happening everywhere, right? This was 35 years ago. Goethe wrote this in 1882, 1782. It was his birthday. So this was Goethe year in Germany, and they were doing all kinds of Goethe things for his 200th anniversary. And this particular reading was done in 1982. I'm going to play the Overture, which has, it says in your program, it has the themes that you'll hear of the awakening, the fox, which is a kind of a Till Oedspiegel kind of theme, the wolf, the lion, which is very noble, the birds, which are chirping, the court, and then comes the hymn, which you'll hear, the Veni Creator Spiritu, then the struggle and the celebration. This takes about 3 minutes. So I'm going to play this overture, and then we'll get to the premiere by your piece. Yeah. Okay.